Have you ever felt that way? That, that annoying, subtle, prickly feeling that you're doing something wrong. You haven't broken any specific rules, you see. No, it's better than that. You feel like you're just a little bit off at the very core of who you are, that you should be more kind, patient, disciplined, and giving, that you are always letting people down, and most importantly, that you are letting yourself down. This is one of the biggest and most clever jokes in the whole universe. The beautiful joke of trying to do the right thing. It seems like we were born into a game that we never agreed to play. The game is shown to us from the very beginning. There are rules. There are things that people expect. Our parents, schools, religions, and society all give us a script. The title of the script is How to Be a Good Person. And this script, it's very tempting. It promises to accept you. It promises to love. It says it will be okay. It says that if you are selfless, humble, hardworking, and kind, you will be saved in a way. Everything will be fine. And so, we pretend to be good people. We learn to smile even when we want to frown. We learn to say yes when our soul is screaming no. We learn to put our higher self above our lower selves, which are our anger, greed, fear, and envy. And this is where the joke starts to happen, because society puts us in an impossible situation. It says, you must be real. But how can you be real? As soon as you try to be real, you are acting. You are figuring things out. You look in the mirror to see how real you look. You see, you can only be genuine when you're not trying. It says, you must be selfless. But when you try to be selfless, you become very aware of the I that is giving up. You take pride in being humble. You think, wow, I'm so selfless today. But that's really very selfish. You must love your neighbor, it says. But you can't force love. You can't choose to love. You can do things that seem like love, like giving money or saying the right words. But if you don't feel it inside, what are you doing? You are being a very smart hypocrite. And then, of course, you feel bad about being a hypocrite, which makes you want to try even harder to be loving. The game is set up to fail. It is meant to make you feel inadequate, which is what it says it will help you with. If you try harder to be good, you will only strengthen the idea that you are not good as you are. You don't try to fix something if you don't think it's broken. You don't try to clean yourself up if you don't think you are dirty. The I that wants to be good is made of the same stuff as the me that wants to be bad. They are one. Picture trying to smooth out a rippling pond of water with a hot iron. You see the waves and the problems, and you think, this must be calm. So you take this hot, hard iron of should and must and press it down on the water. And what do you get? Wow, you get a huge hissing sound, a cloud of steam, and boiling water that shakes things up even more than they were before. The attempt to bring about calm is what causes the chaos. This is the trap of being virtuous in society. It makes your mind feel like it's in two places at once. It creates an inner censor, which is an I that watches, judges, and polices the me that is natural and spontaneous. Society calls this I your conscience and your virtue. But what is it? It's just anxiety dressed up as morality. It is the fear of being rejected by others, dressed up as being right. And the more you listen to this inner cop, the more stuck you get. You can't do things on the spur of the moment. You can't love freely because you're worried about whether you're loving the right way. You can't be happy completely because you're worried about whether you deserve it. You can't even be angry honestly. Your anger has to be righteous anger, which is the most dangerous kind of all. You become an actor and try hard to believe in your own role, which causes a lot of stress that never goes away, always feeling like a fake. That feeling of not being good enough, it doesn't mean you've lost the game. It means you are really playing it. The sound of your ideal's hot iron pressing against the cool flowing water of your real life is a buzzing, vibrating, hissing sound. The goodness that this society sells us isn't real goodness. Real goodness is something that moves like a river. It doesn't take any work. It doesn't need self-control in the usual way. It happens when you realize that there is no separation. But what about goodness in society? It is an idea, a thought, an abstraction. It is a dead butterfly that has been pinned to a board, and we are trying to fit our messy, wonderful, living, breathing reality into that small, neat, dead box. And of course it doesn't fit. Life is always spilling out of the edges. So you're stuck in this situation. You think you are broken. You think you need to reach a better you or an ideal you. And you start the big war inside, the fight against yourself. And this is where the sad story turns into a great comedy. And now you are in this terrible civil war. On one side is I, the noble crusader, the spiritual seeker, the reformer, and the civilized, rational mind. And on the other side, there is me, the lazy, greedy, angry, scared, lustful, and chaotic beast that needs to be defeated. I decides that me needs to be kept in check. I needs to discipline me. I will make a plan. I will make me get up early. I will make me meditate for 30 minutes every day, not because I like it, but because it is good for me. I will make me be nice to that awful aunt at the family gathering. I will stop me from having those dark, jealous, or selfish thoughts. Stop for a second now, and take a look at this setup. Who is this I that is in charge? What was its source? What does this I, this seemingly rational and moral higher self, want? It is just as smart and tricky as the me it says it hates. The I that wants to be good is just as greedy as the me that wants more chocolate cake. It just wants to be right. It wants the spiritual prize. It wants the star of gold. It wants to be able to say, I did it. I beat my bad side. I'm good. It's the same energy, but it's dressed up in a more formal way. The thief has turned into the policeman, but he is still a thief. Now he is trying to steal heaven. And so the war starts. And of course, you find out something awful. The more you fight, the stronger this lower me seems to get. You try to keep your anger in check, but it builds up in your mind and body until you get ulcers or have a sudden volcanic eruption at a completely wrong time over something completely trivial, like the wrong kind of mustard. You try to make yourself love someone, but all you feel is empty and fake, and then you feel bad about feeling empty. This is the thing about being able to control your mind. No, you can't. You can't force yourself to be humble. Being humble is a sign of pride. Look at how beautifully humble I'm becoming. You can't make yourself love someone. You can't make peace happen. It's hard to control your thoughts, just like it's hard to hold water in your hands. The harder you squeeze, the faster it slips away. It's like yelling at an echo to be quiet when you try to get rid of a scary thought. The echo gets louder the more you yell. The I, or the person in charge who is trying to be good, is the same thing that is causing the tension. It is the issue. The I that wants to be at peace is, by its very nature, not peaceful. It is an attack on what is. That feeling of not being good enough you have. It's not a fact about you that everyone agrees on. This is not a medical diagnosis. It's just a thought. The inner I, or the policeman, makes the decision based on a completely arbitrary set of rules that they learned from society. You don't feel bad about yourself because you are bad. You feel like you're not good enough because you believe in the idea of adequacy that you're using to judge yourself. A fish doesn't feel bad about not being able to climb a tree. A tree doesn't feel bad about not being able to fly. They are just what they are. Only a person, with this great trick of the split I, can look at himself and say, not good enough. And how much we love our sad stories. We love being broken. It gives us something to do. We have a big, noble goal, fixing myself. We go to therapists, read a lot of books, go to workshops, and follow gurus, all in a desperate attempt to fix this broken me. But what if there isn't anything wrong? What if the feeling of being broken is just a sign that you're trying to fix something? Think about it. Are you not good enough when you're so into a song that you can't stop dancing? Are you a fake if you really laugh at a joke? Does the problem of you even exist when you're watching the sun go down and are completely taken in? Number. At those times, the judging eye is gone for a short time. The police officer is on a coffee break. There is no one there to compare the experience to an ideal. The experience is all there is, just the dance. The feeling of not being good enough comes back as soon as the thinking mind steps back in and says, that was great. I should do this more often. I should be the kind of person who enjoys sunsets and dances freely. And then it snaps. The game is back on. The trap has been set. The reformer is back, trying to turn a natural living reality into a virtue that it can own, like another item on its spiritual resume. This is the joke that is both subtle and beautiful. You are a wave in the ocean that is trying so hard to be wet. You are working so hard, trying so hard, and being so disciplined to get the one thing you already are and can't not be. And the effort itself, the striving, is what makes you feel tense and dry, like you're not part of the ocean. You can't fail at being yourself, you see. You just can't. You're doing it just right now. All of your bad thoughts, wrong feelings, and selfish impulses are part of the pattern. It is as much a part of nature as the galaxies, the pine trees, the shark, and the dove. The universe is always changing, and it's not a good thing. It is not a bad thing either. It just is. We call it good or bad based on how well it fits with our own small tastes. Good and bad are the two ends of the same process. There is no such thing as up without down. There is no such thing as light without dark. There is no way to make a magnet that only has a north pole. It can't be done. So why do you think you can make a person who has only virtue and no sin, who is never selfish and only selfless? Trying to be only good is like cutting yourself off from half of life. It is a very violent thing to do to yourself. And of course the result is that you don't feel complete. You feel not enough. You feel like you're being torn in two. Your loyalty to this impossible abstract ideal makes you feel inadequate. So what is the funny joke? The joke is a big release. You can see the game at this point. You can see that the I who is trying to fix things and the me who is supposedly broken are both dancing. There are not two of them. You are playing hide and seek with yourself, and you are both the hider and the seeker. And when you really see it, not just as an idea, but feel it in your bones, the war ends. It stops on its own. You don't stop it. It's just the war in a different uniform when you try to make it stop. No, it just stops. The hissing stops when the iron is taken out of the water. What happens next? Does this mean you become a perfect saint? Oh, no way. That would just be another trap, another role to play, and another spiritual costume. Does that mean you go out and do terrible things like rob banks and kick puppies because it's all part of the pattern? No. That person is just being prickly in response. Just like the gooey moralist is a person in response. This is what happens. You see that the saint and the sinner are holding hands. They are the two ends of the same stick. You stop trying to be good. And by some miracle, a completely different kind of goodness starts to show up. Not the planned, worried, and self-conscious goodness of social morality, but the natural, flowing, smart goodness of a river that has stopped trying to flow uphill and is now just flowing with its own nature. This is what acceptance means. Acceptance is not giving up. It isn't saying, oh, well, I'm just a greedy wretch and I'm just going to stay that way. That is still the game of judgment. The clear understanding that what you call greed, anger, or fear is just energy is what real acceptance is. That's life. The same raw, life-giving energy that makes the stars shine and the flowers bloom. You labeled it bad because it didn't fit the social script, and that's why you've been fighting it. You stop fighting when you stop labeling. The energy starts to change on its own when you stop fighting it. The energy you called anger may just be the ability to say no clearly and firmly if you don't judge it or try to hide it. When you don't judge the energy you call fear, it might just be the ability to be careful and aware. You stop thinking of yourself as a problem that needs to be fixed, and that feeling of not being good enough, it goes away. It doesn't have anything to hold on to. It can't live without the idea of adequacy to compare itself to. How can you possibly fall short of the ideal when you let go of it and see it for what it really is? You are here, at this moment, in this beautiful, unpredictable, and out-of-control mess. You are not an inadequate thing that is trying to become adequate. You are the whole thing. You are both the movement and the stillness. You are the I that judges and the me that is messy. More deeply, you are the vast, silent awareness in which both of these things come and go. You can start to play the social game less seriously. You still have to pay your taxes. You might still be polite to the cashier. You don't do it to be a good citizen, though. You do it as a dance. You do what you're supposed to do, but inside you laugh. You know it's just a game. This is real freedom, not the freedom to do whatever you want. That's just a childish way of fighting against being controlled. It is the freedom from the desperate, anxious need to control and the need to be a fixed, good, and acceptable person. The feeling of brokenness was an illusion, created by the very effort to fix something that was never broken in the first place. You were never broken. You just, sadly, thought you should be something other than what you are. So stop the crusade. Put down the hot iron. Give up on the fixing myself project. You don't need it. Just look. Watch the game as it goes on. Observe the mind's attempts at control and the emotions that rise and fall like waves. Don't be hard on them. Don't blame them. Don't try to change them. Just look at them with the same open-minded, curious, and beautiful attention you would give to the clouds moving across the sky. And in that calm, non-judgmental watching, you will find something amazing. You will find that all the effort and stress, the complicated game of good and bad, and the constant feeling of not being good enough are all there. You are, and always have been, perfectly, wonderfully, and completely whole. And that, my friends, is the best joke ever.